It's Bigfoot Collectors Club with Bryce, Michael, and Riley. I know a story of high strangeness or two. Let's do this.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Bigfoot Collectors Club, the show where we talk to amazing guests about their personal paranormal history and share stories of high strangeness. I'm your host, Michael McMillan. With me always is your other host,
Bryce Johnson.
and our super producer,
Riley Bray.
Oh, how's it going, boys?
It's going good, man.
Good?
Yeah, good. I'm coming to you from a definitely haunted hotel in Monterey that was built in 1904.
No way, really?
Yeah.
What are you doing all the way out in Monterey, Riley?
I'm asking myself that same question. I'm not sure.
He's going
I'm
on
wandering the coast.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
just
doing a little
doing a
Thunder
walkabout
Quest.
with
Yeah,
Caitlin.
a little
Love
Yeah.
that.
Thunder Quest, exactly.
A Thunder Quest. That's amazing.
Thunder Quest. Well, you're up near where the Watchers are, the tall beings that like watch over the mountains, and you're like up. There was that documentary a few years ago about the guy who saw a lot of UFOs out there in Monterey County. I cannot remember the name of that movie. I'm sure we talked about it on the show at the time. But there's spooky stuff up there. Do a little spooking around.
I'll keep an eye out, yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of keeping an eye out, why don't we keep an eye out for this guest that's about to walk through the virtual clubhouse doors? She is an actress and a writer and friend of the show from Rutherford Falls and FX's Reservation Dogs. Please welcome back to the clubhouse, Jana Schmieding. Jana.
Woo!
Hey,
Hi.
thanks for having me.
Oh,
I'm so happy
boy.
to
Thanks
be
for
here.
being here.
Fan favorite is back on the show. Jana, how are you?
I'm so good. I'm so excited to talk about UFOs, UAPs. Are we calling them UAPs now?
You can call them whatever you want.
I want to call them UFOs then. I'm
Yeah.
old school like that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I think for those of us who like get it, we can still call them UFOs. You know what I mean? And then people who don't get it, they're never even going to hear the term UAPs anyway. So it's fine.
Yeah. Or you
Null
can
and
split
void.
the difference and call them UFOs. That was a sort of a classic pronunciation of the term. People just put the letters together and called them UFOs, which is always a fun one.
That's cool. Is that what they call them at like conventions and stuff?
Yeah, that's like if you're hardcore.
Yeah.
Oh,
gotta
okay.
t-
It's
I
like
gotta
cool
tell
dude
you.
code.
I got to tell you,
That's cool dude code.
I don't like UFO. I don't like UFOs. I like UFOs, which is funny because when it comes to Star Wars vehicles, I call the walkers AT-ATs, not AT-ATs. So I'm sort of a walking
I know
contradiction.
what that means from the toy. All-terrain attack. Oh shit, I lost it.
Oh, you blew it.
One more.
Oh no.
All-terrain attack toy.
You got it. There you go.
Damn, a scout transport, all-terrain attack transport.
Yes.
Wow.
It's actually armored. It's not attack, but that's fine. It does attack.
Right. Right. Damn, so close, but yet so far away.
Very good. Yeah. The only UFOs I recognize are the Incredible Hulk villains, the U-foes, which is a great little pun.
Oh, yeah, right.
For spooky villains. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, come on, Jana. It's fun. It's
I
fun.
mean, no, I'm into it. I had
Okay,
no
good.
idea.
Yeah, there's I can't name them, but they're all kind of obscure. But they all have like weird vapor and gas powers and radiation powers. I feel like they should be a little bit more like alien based. But
Yeah.
they're pretty cool.
That seems to track.
They're pretty cool. So speaking
Wait,
of UFOs,
what's a vapor and gas power? I'm sorry.
There's like a
stuck
lady
on that
who
one
turns
for a
into
sec.
like she can turn into like poisonous gases, that kind of
Oh, okay,
stuff.
I
and, like,
see.
and float around,
going through your nostrils and kill you and stuff like
exactly. Yeah,
that. Oh, that's kind of cool.
and that's kind of a UFO power because here, let's look up the UFOs. Let's just have ourselves a little.
Oh yeah, the
sidebar
Mad
here.
Hatter of Mattoon, the gas. What was that gas guy we did?
Remember
the Mad Gasser, the Mad Gasser, not the Mad
Gasser.
Hatter. The Mad Hatter would be throwing his hat in people's rooms.
London, right? Was it England somewhere?
Yeah, that's right. He
Or I'm
fucking
thinking
bounced on.
Spring-Heeled Jack now.
Oh God, and now I'm mixing the two. Oh Jesus.
Well, and
Really
also
coming
like
out on some tangents here.
Flatwoods Monster, you always hear about like gases and like things that burn that come off these ships and these vehicles,
Right.
Okay, so there's Vector. I did remember him. He was an industrialist and politician who craved more power. And he's got telekinesis. Vapor, there you go. Vapor has the ability to alter her form into any known gas.
Wow.
Usually the most lethally poisonous she can imagine while invading an opponent's body. Vapor can transform into her fully human state for only brief periods. Oh wow, that's a crummy power to have.
So
Right.
she's mostly gas?
Yeah, she's mostly gas.
God.
There's X-Ray, whose civilian name is Jimmy Darnell. X-Ray has the ability to fly and turn invisible. That comes in handy. That's a UFO power.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Telekinesis is an alien power.
Uh-huh.
And then there's Ironclad rounding out the UFOs. He has been permanently transformed into organic metal. Okay, that's all
very
tracks.
UFO.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Tracks. I take it all back. I apologize, UFOs. You're still cool.
Landed.
All right. Speaking of UFOs, UAPs, Jana, are you doing research? What's going on? Why do you got UFOs on the brain?
I have UFOs on the brain because I just the other night watched the movie Contact with my boyfriend. I mentioned that I have a boyfriend because I have a boyfriend. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
But yeah, we watched Contact, and I haven't watched that movie since like it came out.
That's what happened. We watched it a few years ago for our Bigfoot movie club over on the other side, and it was the same for me. I had definitely not seen it since the 90s for sure.
It's so good.
Yeah, it holds up.
It's like the OG Arrival, kind of.
Yeah, definitely. Except the
I loved
alien
it
is
so much.
more disappointing in Contact.
Oh God, the alien. The alien is, what's that actor's name?
Yeah. What is that actor's name? Is he on the UFOs? I think he might be Vector from the UFOs.
Michael, that's how we'll be remembered. What's that actor's name?
100%. If
Me
lucky.
too.
We're
Me
lucky
too.
if we get that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Please.
best case scenario.
I'd
Yeah.
love to.
I'm on that list as well, gentlemen.
Nice,
Don't leave me
nice.
off.
Okay, no, you're included in our club.
Yeah, it was so good, and it it was a scathing indictment of the sexism within the space community.
There you go.
Mhm.
But the way that they depict her in the vessel, like the whole premise of like aliens sending a complicated puzzle that is a 3-dimensional like communique
Yeah.
to decode and build this extraordinary machine that they blow it breaks. No,
Yeah.
it gets blown up the first time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
first
Jake
time.
Busey. Yeah.
Yes, Jake Busey.
That was Human Fear blew it up the first time.
Yeah. And then of course they're like, no, we have a second one, which LOL. I mean, the budgets. The
Well,
government budgets.
There was that rich man who only lived on an airplane.
Privateer.
Yeah,
That's
they had a little like an old Elon Musk who
Mhm.
was like, "Oh yeah, we got the fourth page and we've been building it all along." Very interesting, like weird, kind of relevant to our current time, but yeah, just so good. And the way that she actually like travels, it's a blip. It's like the in our time on Earth, the vessel that she travels in like falls just directly into the water, but she like spends like hours in outer space.
That's the coolest part.
It's the coolest part.
Time's an illusion. Yeah.
And I love that they try to put the chair in there, and in the chair's like, the aliens didn't give them the instruction to do the chair, and the chair's like rattling her around. She finally unbuckles, and then she's like safe.
Right.
Really,
Exactly.
really nice moment.
On the topic of time is an illusion and that like time travel element of the movie, I have to say that the movie Interstellar, like I felt very unsettled after watching that movie because of the time travel element. I really didn't like the feeling of being rushed because you're losing years on Earth.
Back home on Earth. That was the most compelling part of the movie for me. I thought the story was okay, but I loved the infrastructure of that movie. All the talk about how the theory of relativity and everything like affects space travel was rad. I loved the representation of the fifth dimension.
Oh my God. It gave me
really
nightmares.
Cool.
I had nightmares after that movie for that reason. It was just like it fucked with my mind too much.
All right. It's good. It's good. That's
That's
cheesy.
Nolan, right? That's Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Bryce is in a Nolan movie coming out very soon.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I'm in upcoming Oppenheimer.
You are?
The most stressful trailer I've ever seen.
Oh my God, it's so stressful. One of my good friends did hair on that movie.
Oh, no way. Oh man, it was quite an experience. And this is kind of cool, little nugget for the Club Scouts. Like I played an Army Air Force officer of the 509, which is the same Army Air Force group that was stationed out of Roswell. It was claimed to, fly the beings back to Wright-Patterson.
Meant to fucking be.
Oh my God. What a dream job. Wow.
Oh, I know. I wanted to get a chance, but hey, did you know the UFO story behind the 509, Mr. Nolan? But all I ended up really saying was, hey, thank you for the opportunity, sir. I left it at that.
That's probably
Bryce,
for the better.
You can see him at least once a week at Oaks Gourmet or Gelson's down in Franklin Village. Like he's down there all the time. He's hanging out around the UCB theater all the time.
Oh wow. Okay, I'll continue my combo there then.
Yeah. That's a good. Do it at there's Gelson's just put in a wine bar. This is real like specific
Inside
reference.
LA.
Yeah. So, hey, one of our our local posh grocery store just like put in a wine bar. So he's probably going to be hanging out down there. You can go tap him on the shoulder.
Amazing.
Support for Bigfoot Collectors Club is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. I received mine in the mail, and I gotta say, I was very, very happy to get this because I'm 45 now, and I need some help in the grooming department.
Join over 8 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code BCC at manscaped.com. And if my math is correct, that's about 16 million balls?
16.
Wait, did you hear something?
Million.
Yeah. What is that?
Balls!
Uncle Dickie!
You're alive! I'm back, baby, and so is Manscaped as our sponsor.
Wow, that's right, Uncle D. And I'm so excited, too, because I don't know if I ever told you this story, but there was a time in my younger years where I just took a safety razor to trim down there, and, you think you're making yourself look good, and then you just make yourself look like a crusty strawberry Pop-Tart, and that's not sexy.
Hey, let me stop you there. Look, I've been gone a while. What do those testicular technicians got cooking these days? I mean, what did I miss?
Well, I told you about that performance package, the Performance Package 4.0. In fact, I got that. I opened it up. It is a game changer. It comes with the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer. Definitely need that these days. Crop Preserver Ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance Boxer briefs, very comfy by the way, and a travel bag to hold all your goodies.
Oh, I love that. The Lawnmower 4.0. Geez, this trimmer is the future of grooming, and dare I say, the greatest ball trimmer ever?
Now, their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof and also has a 4000K LED spotlight you need to have a more precise shave. And I'm going to tell you something, that little light comes in handy.
4000K, one of my favorite color temperatures for ball lights.
Hey, look, my testy sense is telling me the Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer is also waterproof and provides proprietary skin-safe technology, which helps reduce nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate nose holes.
And their Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner will change the way you approach your hygiene routine, and they smell so good.
Nice
So
smelling
great.
balls. That's what we're
Trust
talking
me when I say this, fellas, your balls will thank you.
Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers, which I mentioned and I wear and are very comfy, and the Shed Travel Bag. So bring your comfort in boxers to another level.
They're very comfortable. I'm wearing them right now. It's time to take care of yourself and go to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping with code BCC.
Man, it is great to be back. Bryce's weird friends who love to talk about balls. You know, your ball hair keeps growing after you die. Did you guys know that? So I better get to snipping.
It's good to have you back, Uncle Dickie.
I don't think he's ever listened to the show. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BCC at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code BCC. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. All right, let's get into this. We have an L-Files episode for everybody this month. It's the end of the month. This is when we dive into some listener stories sent in by Club Scouts who believe that they have encountered or witnessed something that they cannot explain. If you have an experience you'd like to have us chime in on, please email us at BigfootCollectorsClub@gmail.com. However, before we get into these stories, we have a couple recent news items that I wanted to touch upon. Little fun. These are like little fun cryptid refreshers. How's that sound?
Great.
Like a refresher. Riley, get ready because it's time for some
BCC News!
All right, Jana, in the group chat, I put up a thread for you or a link if you want to check it out. The rest of you can see these in your show notes, the show notes to this episode. This first one comes to us from CBS News. This happened just very recently. Mystery animal caught on camera in Texas State Park prompts investigation. What the heck is that? So you guys all remember the Crash Bandicoot that showed up walking around that zoo? Remember that?
Yeah, that was
about
awesome.
6 months ago. Well, this is sort of like that, but there might be an answer. An animal caught on camera in the middle of the night in the Rio Grande Valley last week left Texas parks and wildlife officials scratching our heads. The mystery animal seen lurking through the area prompted an investigation into just what it could be, and officials may have figured it out. We're scratching our heads trying to identify this elusive creature, officials said on Facebook last week. Is it a new species, an escape from a nearby zoo, or just a park ranger in disguise? Regardless, it's thrilling to see such an incredible animal in its natural habitat. Now, are you guys looking at the photo of this creature yet?
Yeah.
Yes. Can we do the voices of the copy below the picture?
Please do. Please read it for us.
Man, what the heck is that? It's amazing.
Pig
Gotta be
bear.
Texas.
It's a pig bear. A creature from the meteor.
A creature from the meteor.
What? Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to hear.
Well, describe for our listeners, and we'll put this up on the Instagram. What is the what does this animal look like to you guys?
I want to say a pig bear or a weasel, perhaps, or
Yeah. I was
something from the weasel
like a
family.
badger. Yeah, something. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I think you guys are both pretty close. The photo of the animal was donated to park officials by a park visitor, they said. And while these suggestions of pig bear and creature from the meteor didn't quite hit the mark, many people did offer some guesses that the wildlife officials later said could be the case. This is very likely an American badger, not to be confused with the honey badger that lives in Africa and Asia and is rumored to not care very much, officials said in an update. While American badgers are not commonly seen in the valley, partly due to their nocturnal behavior, this is part of their natural range. The American badger, known for its short legs, wide body, and for being an excellent digging machine, can be found in Texas, except for the farthest eastern edge, according to wildlife officials. It's most often found in the state's prairie and desert areas. With the arrival of spring comes the emergence of new badgers in the state. During this time of year, the animals produce litters of anywhere between 1 to 5 cubs. Badger cubs, that's cute. I didn't know that's what they were called, which are born blind and helpless and rely on their mother's protection, according to wildlife officials. So it's a pregnant badger, most likely. Kind of looks weird.
Yeah.
So the headline of the story is someone saw a badger.
Yes. Yes, Riley.
Cool.
Someone
that's
saw
cool.
a badger. Well, I have a more exciting one for you coming up next.
All right.
Let me drop this in the chat for you guys too. Jana, I emailed this to you. This is our dear old friend Nessie, who's been spotted once again. Maybe Nessie's not a school of eels after all. This comes from the National Loch Ness Monster. Do these photographs show the famous Nessie? Something very large has been photographed in the waters of Loch Ness by a holiday maker. Great, by the way, great term for a vacationer, sparking speculation that it was the elusive Nessie. John Payne, who was staying on the southern banks of Scotland's most famous loch, said he had spotted something that was like a huge neck popping in and out of the waters. He told the SWNS news agency, "I was looking out at the scenery from the window, and this huge thing just appeared out of nowhere. I tried to get a picture, but it was gone, and then it popped up further down the loch. I took another picture and then zoomed in on my camera and waited to see if it would appear again, and it did. It must have been something very large because we were about a mile away from the loch, and I could see it clearly. You wouldn't have been able to see a bird or anything from that far away. It had to be something large. It was like a huge neck. At first, I thought it was a giant fin, but I know there are no dolphins or porpoises in the loch, so I was thinking, what the hell is this thing? It wasn't like it was tied to anything like a buoy because it kept moving further away." Payne, a retail worker from Newport, Wales, was staying at Foyer's Roost guest house, roughly 19 miles from Inverness, when he took the photographs. He said that he had gone down to the loch side later in the day but not spotted any movement. Payne went on to say, "I showed some people at the hotel and they were really shocked. It all happened so quickly. It was only there for maybe 2 minutes. I went down to the loch later that day, but I couldn't see anything. I looked at other Nessie pictures and these do look similar to it." Well, what do you guys think? Is this Loch Ness monster footage, or is this just a branch drifting down the way of the lake?
Psh, let's go Loch Ness, man.
Hell
Why
yeah.
not? Yeah, this is Nessie, dog.
It's very
This is
Nessie.
Nessie, dog. I feel like also like people must just be at Loch Ness searching for the monster. Like
yeah.
for
it's
sure.
just like a popular, like this guy was looking for the monster and he found it.
Looking for Loch in all the wrong places. You know, speaking of looking for Loch, I was going through our Instagram on the BCC and we had Jay Barnes messaged that we love a BCC inspired road trip. They took a trip out to see Aleister Crowley's Bullskin House, which is right on
great.
Loch Ness.
Whoa.
Love that. I still love that theory that this could be some type of occult apparition, a creature summoned from the depths of occult summoning hell from Aleister Crowley's unfinished work that he did there at the Bullskin House. But I don't know.
Keeping Nessie alive. I love it. Let's keep Nessie alive. All right, we're gonna dig into some elf files now. Just a reminder, we're getting some creepypasta. We're getting some spooky spaghetti. These are stories from you guys that you've listen. We love your spooky stories, but I think I picked 4 letters this week that are real encounters. Now, 3 of them are following the theme of this month, following up on the Betty Andreasen case. We're doing some UFO stories. But since we kicked this off with some cryptids, I want to talk about a very weird thing that somebody saw. Jana, would you like to read the very first L file tonight?
Would love to. It would be my honor. All right. This L file comes from T, and the title is My Nick Cage Faced Dog Story.
I'm all ears.
All right. Hello, BCC crew, Michael, Bryce, Riley, and Schrodinger's guest.
Great.
You
Love
may
that.
call me, you may call me T, and I have a quick paranormal sighting tale to tell. Boy, so far I'm blowing it, guys. Okay.
No, this is great.
Doing great.
Back in 2018, after leaving college, I got a job at a small machine shop in a rural town in the Piedmont area of North Carolina. It was an hour-long drive from my house that required me to take some very quote-unquote backwoodsy roads.
Mm-hmm.
One night, I was driving to work. I worked the night shift, so this was around 10:45. Down the road, and right after I crossed a bridge across a river, out from the right side of a dark house in front of me very quickly darts what looked initially like a 5-foot-tall Labrador or golden retriever into the yard. But after studying it for a second, I saw that the regular dog face that should have been there was replaced by an extremely long, gaunt human face with dark, slicked-back human hair.
What?
And a mouth with exposed human teeth. Oh, God. Not quite a frown, but also not quite a smile. The face also was on the top of the skull/snout instead of forward like an actual dog, so that when it looked at me dead in the eyes,
Oh, no.
it pointed its head down.
That's weird. That's very creepy.
I call it the Nick Cage face dog because its distorted features very much reminded me of Nick Cage's standard half frown face he has in many of his pictures. Burn. I saw it for no more than 3 or 4 long seconds before I drove past.
Long seconds. Don't worry, they were long seconds.
They were very long.
Yeah.
But when I looked in my mirrors trying to see it again, it was nowhere to be found. I also felt an intense feeling of being pursued afterward, but this may have just been the shock messing with me. I was pretty distracted at work for the rest of the night, needless to say. Thanks for reading my story, and I have even more paranormal stories to tell, as the supernatural never seems to leave me alone for long. Bye-bye, T.
Damn. Devil
Yuck.
dog.
I hate that. I hate it. I hate this beast. I hate that even if he imagined it or they imagined it, I hate that they imagined this. It's disgusting.
Detail of the face being on the top of the dog's head, basically, is really specific and great. Could someone have put just like a rubber mask on a dog, or a dog got his head stuck in a rubber mask?
I mean, it's possible, but I don't
But, you
know.
know, it's also a
Unlikely.
5-foot tall dog, they said. So
5 foot tall.
Oh, yeah,
Jesus
you're
right.
Christ.
is that a dog on its hind legs? Is that what we're talking here? Or 5 foot
No,
on
I
all
think
fours?
it's shoulder height. You're right. I missed it. That's a horse. Maybe they just saw a horse.
Someone
Yeah,
saw a
maybe
horse.
it was a tiny horse because it also had an extremely long, gaunt face.
Yeah, maybe it was a small horse with a Nick Cage pattern on its head. You know what I mean? Like a speckled pattern that looked just like Nick Cage.
Oh, gross.
Human
I'm a-
teeth?
yeah,
Wait a minute. This is
is a
sounding more and
horse.
more like a horse.
Exposed human teeth. Maybe it was a mini horse with a bad like lip disease. I mean, it was backwoodsy.
It's true.
I
Those
think you've
backwood
solved
horses
it.
out there.
Yeah. A gaunt, backwoodsy mini horse.
Lip diseased mini horse. That checks out.
Yeah, checks out. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Any other theories to float forward here for T?
I don't know.
A
man.
badger,
I don't envy.
perhaps?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could have been a pregnant badger.
It could have been a giant American badger.
I don't know. Some sort of weird shape-shifting demon. I don't know. Or a horse with a backwoods horse with bad lips. That's what we're looking at here, T.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I detest it.
It's pretty gross. All right, we'll take a break here, and when we come back, we'll have more L-Files with Jana Schmieding.
This episode is brought to you by Athletic Greens. I've been enjoying my AG1 nutritional drink by Athletic Greens every morning after I wake up and before I have my coffee. And boy, oh boy, let me tell you something. It makes me feel like I have made a very healthy choice at the first minute of the day. It's awesome. It's just 1 scoop of powder mixed with water once a day. That's all you need. Bryce, I know you've been taking your AG1. What do you love about it?
What a way to start your day. Yeah, it's basically, it's replaced coffee as my morning ritual drink. And man, it gives me a boost and just makes me feel good. It actually boosts my mood. And I feel like I've taken my vitamins and minerals for the day. I'm good to go, do the rest of my stuff. And I love it, man. And it tastes really good too.
Yeah, it's great. I've been mixing mine with a little bit of coconut water in the morning, which is a delightful treat. It's definitely like you. It's become my new morning ritual. I love it. Instead of having to take all these supplements, I feel like I'm getting all my vitamins, good vitamins in one place. It supports the immune system. It makes it supports good gut health. It's great. And the other thing that I love about it, I've been doing this AG D3 plus K2 vitamin D dropper.
Yep.
This little liquid stuff, the liquid dietary supplement. I got to tell you, as someone who is vitamin D deficient, I love knowing that I have this, and it's just one little drop. I put it under my tongue, and then I drink the rest of my nutritional drink. And you know what? I just feel better about myself.
Yeah, if you're at your desk all day long or on the computer, you're just not getting outside enough. I mean, vitamin D is so important, and this is just a little drop under the tongue, and you're good to go.
Yeah, and that K2 helps activate it, which I learned because my girlfriend's smart, and she taught me about that.
Yeah, and it's the same name of a big mountain, so you feel like you've just climbed a mountain for the day. So come on.
Why take a bunch of different things when you can just mix 1 scoop of powder in water once a day? AG1 was designed with ease in mind so you can live healthier and better without having to do a lot. I'll tell you, that's what's helping. The fact I don't have to put this thing in a blender and then clean the blender afterwards is what's making me do this.
Oh, that's huge. Oh, yeah.
I'm so lazy in the morning. AG1 gives you an increased energy and mood support, making it easier to live your best life.
Yeah, if you're looking for an easier way to take supplements, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/BCC. That's athleticgreens.com/BCC. Check it out.
All right, Bryce, why don't you dig into that L-Files cabinet there and pull something interesting out to investigate?
Great. Let me just open up the file cabinet here. Oh, ruffle. Oh, what do we have here? Okay, I got a good one here.
I like that you said the word ruffle as your sound effect.
Oh, ruffle, scrounge around.
Yeah. You know what that's called? There's a word for that. That's onomatopoeia. Here we go. Okay. My name is Troy, and I have a little UFO story for you guys to read from. Been listening to BCC since hearing your ad on the Distractable podcast earlier this year, and wanted to type in this story for the L-Files segment. Shout out to Distractable. This happened back in 2015 or 16 in the summer around June or July. My buddy and I decided we wanted to go for a hike one night around midnight. Without doxing myself, because the location is important, we head to ASU in Tempe, Arizona. More importantly, if you're from the area, quote-unquote A Mountain, which is the little tiniest mountain that sits next to the ASU football stadium, The mountain itself isn't tall and can easily be summited in a matter of minutes, with the service road that leads about halfway and a little trail up the rest of the way being next to ASU and basically in the middle of the city. This makes A Mountain a very popular spot for people to hike at all hours of the day and night. We got to the parking lot at the base and shortly made our way up the trail. When we got to the top, we found our usual seats, which were just formations in the rock that allowed you to sit like a recliner, sitting facing east towards the stadium and Tempe Marketplace. We took out our party favors and a pack a bowl of the devil's lettuce. Oh, yeah! Yes, we got high. Regardless, at the time, we got high all the time, and tonight was supposed to be no different as we've smoked in the same spot numerous times before. As we chatted, when we stopped talking to enjoy the view and take in the nighttime scenery.
Basically, when the high kicked in.
When out of nowhere,
Right, yeah.
we see this craft. It emerges from seemingly out of thin air, coming from the south going north. Its position relative to us and the stadium, from what we could tell, it was directly above the stadium, flying across the nighttime sky. With the dark night, it would be hard to see, but because we were close, or as close as we could be at the time, we could make out what it was. But being so shocked at what we were seeing, we both stared at it until it completely disappeared from out of our view, going from Tempe to Scottsdale when we finally lost it. When we finally had the chance to break the silence, we both described in detail what we had just seen, going back and forth with the same details. The craft was in the shape of a V, best way I can describe it. Imagine a B-2 stealth bomber, but not as big and not exactly the same shape. From our angle, the bottom side was very flat, the top side too, but couldn't see much of the top. It had a checkerboard pattern on the bottom side with black and really dark gray squares.
Interesting.
While at night, other aircraft have blinking and stationary lights, both helicopters and airplanes, big and small, which helps you see them better, but this craft didn't. It was more or less gliding across, never losing speed or direction, as well as remaining at the same altitude the entire time. When it was gone from our sight, we pondered at the possibilities of what it could and couldn't be. It wasn't a plane, considering how extremely low it was flying close to the ground, the lack of lights, and with commercial aircraft flying so close by and Sky Harbor Airport directly to the west of us, where we were making this aircraft flying through the path of aircraft taking off and landing. It wasn't a helicopter because there were no propellers as well as no lights. It could have been a drone, but again, no lights. With one of the most famous UFO cases, the Phoenix Lights, being here in my home state, we thought we could have seen something beyond our comprehension. And the most confusing detail of all, there was absolutely no noise coming from the craft. Being so close and looking like the size of 2 city buses, I expected some sound, but there was no sound coming from the craft. While there could be an explanation as to what it is, at the time, I questioned it, and I still do to this day. I also understand and even shared a joke with my buddy when it happened, saying something like, quote, "We're smoking weed, so no one is going to believe us," end quote, and laughing about it. This type of situation has never happened to me again. I've had the pleasure of being able to work at the airport and work on and alongside of airplanes of all sizes, and am working toward an education and career as an aircraft mechanic. To give myself some credit, an aircraft that close would definitely be making sound that would deafen and permanently damage your ears. Everything that we saw that night still ponders me to this day, especially the fact that there was no noise. Attached is a map screenshot with a pin of where we were sitting, as well as the stadium. I hope this story finds you and all the BCC well, and would love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for sharing my story. Best regards, fellow Club Scout, Troy. P.S. I swear this isn't a story made up or just because I was high. This is a genuine experience, and I have no idea what I saw. I can answer any questions that you may have for me. Now,
Okay,
on
Troy,
to packing another
relax.
bowl. Hell yeah, Troy. Hell
Troy.
yeah.
We know you go to a party school, Troy. Okay.
Troy, he's a state school ASU guy.
Oh my gosh, love that! Wow, that's called in the UFO community. That's a Chevron UFO, right? The classic V, man. Hell yeah!
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
love
what do you guys
it.
think about
classic
that?
sighting story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Great
It's
detail, Troy. Great, really well told. Yeah, I mean, before I even put two and two together, as you do in your letter of the Phoenix Lights and you being in Arizona, you know, some of the craft that they they witnessed, the people who really saw something that night talk about these giant black V-shaped chevron UFOs
Silent.
flying over. So I think you're onto something here. Now, whether this is extraterrestrial or some sort of secret government blimp, you know, who knows? But really, really weird and really well told. Jana, what are you thinking as you're hearing this story?
I'm thinking classic UFO. I not even UAP. And here's my question. I've heard that, you know, people have sort of if they get into like an elevated state of like an elevated mental state via drugs or meditation or whatever, that that UFO sightings like can happen with more frequency, or I think I don't know if it's like the telekinesis that is at play or what have you, but do you guys believe that like being in an altered state, again, drug induced or not, can increase the likelihood of having a sighting?
Jana,
Yes.
it sounds like you want to do a lot of
Absolutely.
drugs and look at the sky.
More
If you're
do I
asking
am.
for our
Take me to the desert, baby.
if you're asking for our permission, we don't need to give it to you.
Troy,
I
I'm
mean-
right behind you, babe.
Absolutely. Just from my days of blazing, like when you know, in those
Days of
moments,
Blazing. Come on,
Days
man.
of Blazing.
That is a BJ, at least
Ugh.
Yeah.
a short album right there.
Yeah,
you
that's
just
an
I
album title
I
right there.
remember like you just spend more time focusing on the minutia of nature and everything else. So like, yeah, I would like stare at the sky and I think it's just a matter of like you're not only being more open to it, possibly on some energetic level, like you were saying, which I think there's some truth to that, but I think you're just paying more attention and you're just sort of, you're in a relaxed state. You're not looking at your phone, you know, you're chilling, you're looking back and you're just, you know, you're going to see more stuff that way. And Troy, I don't know if you've ever heard our episode that we did on the Phoenix Lights, episode number 29 with Scott Michael Foster. Go back and check it out. But some amazing things that I still remember about the Phoenix Lights case was that a lot of people just thought it was one Chevron ship, but it was a fucking parade, right? So the research done shows that there was like multiple, possibly even dozens of these V-shaped craft that hovered silently over the city, witnessed by thousands and thousands of people. And not only that, another detail that stuck out for me was in interviewing some of the witnesses, I forget the researcher's name who did the majority of the gumshoe work on this, found that people sort of got left with this sort of consciousness shifting motif that like an aperitif after it went away. They sort of had this like, I don't know, they felt their consciousness being shifted a little bit, like you were saying on that rock, like you were just sort of staring at this thing. Who knows how much time is or what's taking place in that exact moment, but I don't know, fascinating stuff. I love your story. Keep blazing and keep your eyes on those skies, man.
Consciousness aperitif is a drink they definitely serve at Club Bryce.
God. I feel like the blazing days are still here, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't actually have to get high to blaze, right, Bryce? You're always blazing.
Yeah. Hey, man, was that a consciousness aperitif? I think so, Troy. Oh, sorry.
I also want to say, and I'm sure that like this has been discussed so much on this podcast, I've heard it discussed myself, but like as an indigenous person, I am like friends with so many Navajo people, a lot of Pueblo folks, a lot of folks like in the Ute Nation, and the Southwest is absolutely popping off with like magic in the skies and all kinds of like, and it always has, like that lore has like been a part of Southwestern like folks like native folks existence, and it certainly didn't begin with, you know, Area 51 and like government experimentation, but that like I definitely like it brought it into the more mainstream zeitgeist, but people have been talking about shit like that in the desert for a long time.
You made me think about a couple things there, Jana. One is the only time I've ever seen really something that I would classify as a UFO was in Sedona, Arizona, so not far from there. And then I just got this thought of like, what if, because there was an article, and we should cover this on BCC News. I literally just saw it a minute before we were going to record, and I was like, I got to read this later. But there, I saw a headline about how the CIA, like, a couple decades ago, was doing this study on consciousness and time travel. So I've got to check this. This is in Popular Mechanics. So again, Popular Mechanics getting into the weird realm, which I love. But it made me think, what if Area 51 wasn't like a place where the government, and maybe it was, ended up being that, where the government would take crashed saucers. What if it was a base that was built out in the middle of nowhere to study this phenomena and track it? You know what I mean? Maybe they figured out, oh, this is where this is a spot where shit really goes down. Let's build this top secret base out here and see if we can figure out what this is, you know?
I mean, that's certainly one theory. I know they tested a lot of nuclear armament out there before the base was ever built, and it's sort of, you know, segued into that base. But, you know, one thing that was never, there's got to be a reason why. And that's one thing that still sort of puzzles me, I guess, is like, why Phoenix? Why that city? Why that area? There is something special about that southwestern. It's like even Sedona. I've been there. That place is like a portal city, man. Holy cow. But some
ley line magic out there.
Some ley line magic happening out that way. But yeah, wild stuff, man.
Really cool. All right. Riley, what do you got for us?
Well, I got one written to us from a grumpy kobold. Whatever.
Kobold, it's a mythical sprite.
Oh.
It's like a goblin or a hobgoblin.
Well, this kobold says, "Hey guys, relatively new listener here. Found you through Distractable, so shout out to those awesome nerds too. Yes, we love those nerds. I'll try to keep this one short, as I'm not sure how high this strangeness really is, but every L-Files episode I listened to really made me want to send this in. Going back to summer of maybe 2011, I was living in Clear Lake, California at the time. Our house had a badass view of the namesake of the town, as well as Mount Konocti? Is that how you say that? I don't know that
I would say yes.
Let's go with that. It was near the 4th of July, if memory serves,
believe me,
and we were having a barbecue.
If we get it wrong.
Were you checking it?
I was saying, no, someone will tell us, yeah.
Oh, most definitely, yeah. Okay, so anyways, it was near the 4th of July, if memory serves, and we were having a barbecue on the back deck, and of course, a few beers. At one point in the afternoon, someone muttered something along the lines of, "Dude, what the fuck is that?" So of course, we all turn our attention to good old Mount Konocti, and I shit you not, there was a giant column of light rising up into the sky just to the right of those poles at the summit meant to warn nearby aircraft. This shit looked like a golden version of a Tron movie cover or something.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking of like in Ghostbusters when the ghost with the apartment building. Yeah, and that cool music track plays. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Well, they go on. Mind you, this is in broad fucking daylight, a couple hours before sunset, and this light is almost as bright as the sun itself. Now, it wasn't uncommon to see lights reaching into that part of the sky at night, as that's where Lakeport would have been. They'd use spotlights to help advertise for certain events or what have you. But that's at night, and no man-made spotlight I've ever heard of has ever come nearly close to how bright this beam was. And that wasn't even the weirdest part. So as the afternoon progresses and we're staring at this thing, we noticed that it was slowly but surely migrating along the horizon of the dormant volcano. As it slid behind the mountain, it did grow more and more dim, and while it did move a good distance sideways, it always pointed straight upward. We never saw anything in the news about this, and any attempts to photograph it with our crappy cell cameras was a moot point. Nor did we hear any of the locals ever talking about it after this happened. It was single-handedly the weirdest shit I have ever seen, and I've yet to see or hear anything that might help to explain it. Anyways, that's all I had for now. Y'all keep bringing the strange, and I hope you find Bigfoot someday. Sincerely, a grumpy kobold.
Wow, nice.
Whoa,
More weird landscape magic. This is crazy. Jana, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I believe they saw something. What's so weird to me is the broad daylight.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I feel like I've never experienced a UFO sighting in broad daylight or seen one like in video or anything.
I mean, to
see a light like that at that distance, like, and that bright, like, I don't think that there is a light that we possess that could do that. I really don't.
So it sounds like they're familiar. Again, this is two people sort of partying near a mountain they know pretty well, right? You know what I mean? As we're looking at
finding a pattern here.
Correlations between the second and third letters. So now, so it sounds like this is something they've never seen before. So you start to rule out, okay, maybe there's like a trick of light or some weather phenomena or something that would produce this. So definitely strange, but maybe there's some sort of like optical illusion that happens, naturally occurring thing that could, if someone out there knows what this is. But I've never heard of anything like this. This is really bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, maybe some sort of like reflection of the sunlight itself
off the
through
mountain,
some sort of atmospheric haze that made it read as a beam, maybe something like that.
We're getting into some swamp gas territory here.
I'm gonna go straight supernatural with this, man. Like, this is like when over Skinwalker Ranch, when people reported seeing just like the sky fucking sort of just tear open into this portal. I mean, I think this stuff happens, more than we realize, and this could be something like that. There is so much strange shit out there that happens all the time. It sounds like old grumpy troll here got to look at one.
Maybe a craft with a beam scanning the ground if we want to go UFO,
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah.
I don't know. Really weird stuff.
I was trying to Google that Ghostbuster scene to play that cool music as all the ghosts are coming. Somebody's coming. But couldn't find it. Oh, well. Would have went nice with your story, but
it's all good. Maybe Riley can add it in later.
I'll put in something.
Here, we're going to dig into the Elf Files for one last story this week. Here we go. Hello, good sirs, and hello, ladies, gentlemen, and non-binary audience members. I would like to start out these peculiar retellings of my bizarre encounters by first introducing myself. All right, now I'm getting a little nervous. This is Michael talking, and feeling like maybe I did accidentally pull a spooky spaghetti here, but I think we're okay. Back to the letter. My name is William. I was born in Riverside, California, and I didn't spend much time there. My parents moved us all to a small town in the Mojave called Lucerne Valley. We lived in a housing tract nestled on the foothills of the San Bernardino Mountains, almost directly below the Lake Arrowhead Big Bear area, and I lived here with my family for about 10 years. This is where a myriad of paranormal encounters happened, and where I learned, at a very early age, that there's more to life than what we are told.
Here,
Well,
here.
anyways, to get on with my encounter with a UAP. Oh, going full UAP here, William.
Okay.
It was a hot day in the summer of 2010. I had just finished my last year of elementary school. What was the hit track in 2010? Like, what summer track? Like what that we could be playing here in the background of this one?
2010. I
Yeah,
feel like
look
that
up
was like,
Bryce. Look up 2010 top of the charts 2010. It's summer
2010 jammies. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
it's like Jack Johnson, maybe.
I was thinking maybe some Usher, you know?
Yeah. I had just finished my last year of elementary school and was on summer break. On this day, my mom decided we should take a trip to a place named Deep Creek, California. This is a place where people go to off-road and partake in mudding, which sounds fun in comparison to sitting around all day. Well, I had invited a friend over and asked if he'd like to join us on this trip, in which he accepted my offer. When he arrived at my house, I noticed he had brought along a fishing pole and tackle box. Now, despite its name, Deep Creek is not really a place to fish. The creek is more like a giant mud area where people bring their off-road vehicles and do donuts in the mud. Regardless, my friend and I were none the wiser. We stepped outside into the driveway so my friend could line up his pole and get a hook on. Like I said, this was a hot summer day in the middle of summer. No clouds, no wind, clear blue skies. We were on my driveway when my friend looked up from what he was doing and pointed at the sky and shouted, "Look at that!" When I looked up, I saw one of the most incredible and unexplainable things I've ever seen in my life. What we were looking at was for sure a UAP. It's kind of difficult to explain how high or far away it was, but it couldn't have been more than 500 or so feet off the ground and 1,000 to 2,000 feet away from us.
Well, that's close.
That's pretty close.
Wow.
Not technically a close encounter, but close, right?
Got to be within 500 feet, yeah.
There was no sound at all. It had the classic saucer shape with the dome on top. However, there were no windows. We had a very good side view of the craft. It was a solid sheet of metal that looked like bronze. A bronze saucer, no windows, and dead silent. We watched this thing casually gliding through the sky with the sun glistening off the surface of the metal. The craft eventually was lost from our line of sight. Sadly, I didn't have a cell phone, and neither did my friend to take a picture. Pause. I am just thinking about how I'm picturing, I got lost in picturing this in my 5th grade years, which was the summer of 1990. And this kid was not even born yet. Because I was like, well, I was thinking they don't have like one of those Kodak like quick cameras that are like this. You scroll through the film really quickly. This kid had a cell phone in 5th grade. That's really that's the part of the story that's blowing my mind the most, not the UFO. All right, back to the letter. I don't have any proof of this happening, but honestly, I'm telling you the truth. To this day, the image of that craft is burned in my mind, and I have no idea what it really was, where it came from, or who manned it. Whew, love it.
Yikes.
Classic saucer story. All right, Now we have another quick one. My next story is a shorter story of a shadow person caught on camera. To preface this, by this time, I had moved to Montana. Here, I had made a friend who I hung out with after work some days at her house. Have you ever walked into a house and felt like something was off? Well, when I walked into her house, I could feel something strange, and so I asked, "Is your house haunted?" And she replied, "Yes. Sometimes it slams cabinets shut in the kitchen and moves things around." When she told me this, I suggested that maybe we should sage her house so she can feel a little better about living there, and she agreed.
Nice,
We
good
went
call.
out-
Good call.
We picked out some white sage, dried it out, made a bundle. We staged her house, and to be honest, nothing seemed to happen. However, a couple days later, she sent me a text with a video file attached. The video was taken by a motion sensor camera that was pointed towards her front yard and driveway. From the perspective of the camera, this would be impossible to be somebody's shadow. Behind the camera, there's a wooden fence that's about 6.5 feet high and has no gaps in between the planks of wood. What I think this was whatever entity that was in her house was forced outside, and you could see it walking to the house. I think trying to get back in. Anyways, thank you guys for your podcast. I'm a truck driver now, and I've a baby truck driver, and I've listened to about 9 or 10 podcasts from start to finish now, and your guys is probably my favorite. I came from Distractable and stayed for Bryce, Riley, and Michael. I have many more interesting stories of high strangeness. My life has been plagued by these weird encounters and experiences. So if you would like to hear any more, let me know. Thank you for reading and listening. BCC forever.
I'm down with that.
Awesome.
I think they gave us that video clip. So let's unpack that first story, and then let's see if I can find this video clip and we can take a look at it. Okay.
Yeah. First of all, shout out to those truck drivers out there.
Yeah,
Love
dude.
that. Right on.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love the idea of someone listening to our podcast start to finish while like trucking across America. That's
Fuck
yeah.
so cool.
Oh my God. Just like binging your podcast.
Yeah, that's how
on
it's
the
meant
road.
to be done. Yes.
100%.
Love that.
That's creepy as hell.
What do you think about this
the thing
classic
that struck me
saucer
with
back
that
in the
first
summer?
one-
Yeah, 2010.
Yeah. The thing that really struck me was the bronze color. I thought that's an interesting
Yeah.
detail that I hadn't heard. It makes me think of when people talk about the accounts in like the Bible and the Bhagavad Gita of like chariots in the sky. You know, this sort of like this bronze craft. Like it makes me think of this sort of ancient, timeless kind of craft. I don't know. That's where my mind went with that.
I love that.
I think so, man. First of all, that's pretty rare to see something like that. I mean, I've seen my fair share of shit in the sky, but nothing like what we would consider here on the podcast a classic saucer. And it sounds like that's exactly what you saw. And dude, that's amazing. And you know, we're starting to see this pattern here that, you know, and I think even the letter before is like, this isn't the first time I've experienced strange stuff, and it seems to follow me. And it's like, it's so true. It's like, none of this stuff is usually like a one-off, you know, it's like, it's always followed by something or experienced in other ways, you know, whether it be like, you know, paranormal activity or seeing more different types of stuff. And some people just seem open to this or you know, or more sensitive to picking up this type of whatever this phenomenon is. It's strange, but I'm kind of jealous. I'd love to see a craft like that. That's wild.
It's
so
also
jealous.
funny how it's like both of these stories, it's like it's a moment where it's sort of like no one will ever believe you. It's like, oh well, that's like two kids and they didn't have a picture.
Yep.
Of the other's like, oh well, that's two guys getting high. You know, it's kind of like it presents itself in a moment where it couldn't ever be conclusively proved that it did. You know, it's sort of like the Bill Murray eating your French fry and saying no one will ever believe this kind of thing.
Oh,
It's
for
just
sure.
like- it's just sort of toying, you know.
That's what the trickster phenomenon does. I sent this video to you guys, and I believe with permission of the L filer that we will post this in our Instagram as well. But check your inboxes. This is with the second story, the shadow entity. When you hit play, this is a very brief video. It's in black and white. It looks like it was like a Ring camera, something like that. You can clearly see something on the right walking, kind of swinging around and walking towards camera.
I want to see. Did you send it to us already?
I sent it to your
so
email.
Deeply creepy.
Oh, to the email. Oh my
God.
God.
Bryce, this is like a Bryce's
hold-
secret stash video right here.
Well, I might have to use this. All right, hold on. Where is
This
this? In
thing-
my Gmails?
It is in your Gmails, my friend. From
Grandpa's refreshing the Gmails.
Forwarded
Hold on
from
here.
the BCC
Oh, here we go.
Gmails. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Okay, there's
Is
the
it in my
movie.
Gmails?
Hold
and
on.
I looked
now.
up some 2010 songs. Were you listening to "Cooler Than Me" by Mike Posner?
I don't even
Okay.
know
I
that.
doubt it. I doubt it. If he's a trucker, he's probably listened to way cooler music than that. Maybe some outlaw country. Okay, downloading the movie. Hang on here, guys. Okay.
So
Grandpa's gonna move it to my desktop.
all you
Now is it
see
in my
Alright.
hard drive?
All right.
All-
there's the sound. Okay. Let me
all you
space
can
bar this.
look on the right. It's very brief. You're looking at a backyard, and you clearly see a shadow entity or a shadow move, sweep.
Yeah.
You see it, Jana. What do you think?
It's that's full on. That's a full on ghost.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's so great. Ooh, I love it.
Love the way you lie with Eminem and Rihanna. Come on.
Oh yeah. Dude, this thing is wild. This is a perfect for Bryce's secret stash. I might have to use this one.
Well, I think we just did.
It's on the show now. Yeah.
It's on the show. This is
I
it.
feel like I see like an arm, like I see like a whole anthropomorphic sort of body, like, you know what I mean? Like I'm getting creep vibes. That's great.
It also kind of looks like it's descending from above, right?
Yeah,
it does, right? It looks like it kind of materializes out of that sky, and then it's really spooky.
Do you guys hear it say, "I want back in this fucking house"? I don't know, but that's what I hear.
Yeah, it moves like a person too.
Yeah, it does. It's creepy. Nice work.
Yeah.
Keep burning that sage.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it, listener. Thank you so much. This is great stuff. All right, Jana, thank you so much for being here. We love having you on the show. This will not be the last time you're here.
Thanks for having me.
Where can people find you?
You know, you can find me on Instagram, I guess. Jana Unplugged on Instagram. I also have I have a beadwork Instagram because
love your beadwork.
Make beadwork, but I recently made a beaded UFO. You guys should check it out.
Yes,
What's
please.
the account? I want to find it right now.
The account is City Indian Beadwork, and Indian is spelled the letter N, the letter D, and the letter N. So City Indian
Beadwork.
Beadwork, and you'll see my my little UFO. I made 2 UFO beaded medallions to give to 2 of the cast members on this season of Reservation Dogs.
This is
come
awesome.
out this year. Yeah.
Are you a Steelers fan?
No, my brother-in-law is. I made him a
fair enough.
Steelers medallion.
Jana, this stuff is beautiful. Really, really beautiful.
Thanks.
Everybody, follow City Indian Beadwork right now on Instagram and follow Jana. Where can they follow you on Instagram?
At Jana Unplugged on Instagram, or you can watch me on Rutherford Falls on Peacock, or you can see me in Reservation Dogs on FX on Hulu.
Hell yes!
Oh yeah, just saw it now. Oh yeah, that's killer. Oh man, I want one of those.
And hey, everybody listening, all I want to say is send in your Bigfoot encounter stories or hairy monster stories, any of that stuff.
Dogman stories.
Dogman, Wolfman, like any weird, like the Nick Cage dog story counts, a 5 foot tall dog. We're putting something together for the show. We want your Bigfoot encounter stories. So please send those into BigfootCollectorsClub@gmail.com and put Big Hairy Monster Story as your subject line. And we'll
BHM.
set those aside. Please do. Yes. Jana Schmieding, thank you so much. We love having you on the show. Come back, please, anytime. We love you.
Would love.
Oh, right. Well, kids, don't forget to click that follow button on Spotify, Apple, or your favorite podcast app so you never miss a single episode of BCC. We want to hear from you, so please rate and review while you're there. If you drop us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, we might read it on the show, like this one from Riley.
Warpy9 writes, "What an amazing show. My favorite podcast, the Secret Cabal Gaming Podcast, mentioned BCC, and I'm so glad they did. Love this podcast. 5 stars."
Wow.
Yes.
Well, now we've mentioned them, so the love is circular.
We'll have to check that podcast out and maybe have some of those people on the show. How about that?
Absolutely.
Be sure to follow us on
what
Instagram.
happens when you write a review? You never know where it's going to go.
We learn. You guys are literally adding to the show. We learn about other podcasts and all this stuff, and then we it all goes into what I like to call the positive feedback loop.
And it helps me on bad days. Like on really bad days, I'll kind of go through our reviews, and it makes me feel a little better. So so thanks.
That's good.
Bryce, I do that too.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I
On a
have
rough day.
I have a real hard time looking because I'm always worried our rating total is going to go down and someone's going to yell at me and I'm upset. So I have a hard time. But write one that says this is to make Riley and Bryce happy, and then we'll read some of those on the air. That's your assignment.
Cheer up, buddy. It's gonna be okay.
It's gonna be okay.
Also, follow us on Instagram at Bigfoot Collectors Club so you can see the video that we just talked about. It is I think, the most important extension of the show if you just want all the visual references. Also, announcements for live stream shows and live shows and that kind of stuff. You definitely want to be following us over there. And, of course, you can find BCC on TikTok at BCC Pod. If you guys have finished binging the show and you want more BCC, it's waiting for you on our Patreon, BCC The Other Side. Unlock 3 bonus episodes every month, plus our entire episode library over there. You can upgrade to the Cosmic tier and unlock 3 additional BCC soundtracks by Riley every month. Head over to patreon.com/BigfootCollectorsClub to check that out. Also, if you sign up, we're going to shout you out on the show. Now, typically, we've been saving all of these shout outs for the end of L-Files episodes, but we have a lot of names to catch up on. So I'm going to propose this. We just shout out a few names every week.
Sure.
So let's do it. Demi Ray.
Thank you.
Jess.
Thank you.
Ike 5738.
Thank you, Ike.
Tess Tasty.
Thanks, Tasty.
Rachel McClenning.
Thanks, Rachel.
And finally, Common White Girl, a Cosmeteer.
Welcome. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, thanks, everybody. Follow me on Instagram at McMills.
Yeah, I'm on those socials as well, at Mr. Bryce Johnson on Instagram and Bryce O. Johnson at Twitter. Hit me up.
Yeah, and I'm Peace Drone on Instagram. And if you want to hear the scores from this L-Files episode, perhaps you enjoyed the scores from the deep dive this month, check them out on the Cosmeteer.
Yeah, that new album, Midnight City, is fire, dog.
It's really good.
Oh,
Really
no
good.
cap
of course.
on
Look,
God.
The second full album I've dropped this year, only on the Patreon.
In a matter
yeah.
of months. Yeah, literally.
It's really good, dude.
All right.
Loving
I've
it.
had a little time on my hands recently. So.
We all have. Speaking of which, we're going to cross over to the other side right now and put a little coda on the Betty Andreasen case. If we don't see it over there, I gotta get this fucking thing out of my head. It is consumed me now for 6 weeks. I have to get just the rest of it out. I bought another book about her today, as of today, the day that we're recording this.
No, yeah,
So,
you gotta stop.
I gotta get out of there. If we don't see you over there, we will see you back here next week for an all-new episode of Bigfoot Collectors Club. Until then, good night.
And go get regressed. Bigfoot Collectors Club is produced by Riley Bray and Michael McMillan and scored and engineered by Riley Bray. Our theme song, Come Alone, is by Suneaters, courtesy of Lotuspool Records. Do us a favor and support the show and unlock 3 bonus episodes every month by becoming a member of our Patreon, BCC The Other Side, which can be found at patreon.com/BigfootCollectorsClub.